Spalding. I'm a member. Thank you all for coming. From its founding nearly 20 years ago, UCOT has been creative about Sunday programs. One of our purposes in months with Fifth Sundays is to offer programs to reach out beyond our congregation to our community. Our September 5th Sunday program will be on hospice care, presented by Joe Mazza, UCOT member and longtime hospice volunteer. I want to welcome today's guest speaker, Mia Barela, who will be introduced shortly. Also, thank you to Emily Gillespie, who is live streaming, and perhaps B as well. Are you helping with live streaming? No, I'm just doing this. Okay, and to Joe Mazza for audio visual, and to Margot Coleman for bringing flowers. If this is your first visit, we're especially glad to have you with us today. Look for board members' green name tags if you have questions about the congregation or Unitarian Universalism, or pick up informational brochures from the back table. If you give us your contact information on the clipboard on the back table, we can email information about future services and activities like this. We like to meet our visitors, so if you are comfortable doing so, please stand and introduce yourself. I'll just pause for a minute if anybody would like to introduce yourself.
You're talking to them,
Oh, my name is Delbert Barela. This is my wife Gloria, my daughter Crystal, and my granddaughter Mia. We're happy to be here.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Good to have the whole family here. Thank you. The Unitarian Congregation of Taos is a theologically diverse, liberal religious community open to all who are in accord with our values of equality, compassion, and the free and responsible search for truth and meaning. If you'd like to donate to the Unitarian Congregation of Taos, there's a basket for donations on the back table. Please silence your cell phones. And do we have any brief church or community-related announcements? Any announcements? Okay. And without further ado, then I'll introduce Gail Minton, who will introduce our speaker.
Thank you, Julian. Very nice to have such a good congregational introduction. My name is Gail Minton. I'm a member of the congregation, and I've been a member of the Fifth Sunday Committee and group for 4 years. This is our 4th year of Fifth Sundays, usually 2 or 3, sometimes 4 a year. It has been my hope for a long time to have more connection with the youth of Taos community, because as we know, we are way over the hill. But we're still aware, and I have been following the True Kids One program since it was started in 2017, and was very honored to be interviewed by them up at the Taos Valley for the future of our forests dialogue. It is just a huge pleasure to have Sandy Campbell recommend Mia Barela for our speaker today. She did talk to some of her friends. They gracefully declined, and we have her. She's a very new friend of mine, but I will say a very poised, very warm, very smart, very accomplished at interviewing people, at filming people, at helping young people learn how to use our digital and technological media. She has been involved with True Kids One for 3 years, and this will be her 4th year as she's a senior at Taos High. Please give a huge warm welcome to Mia. Thank you, thank you. And Mia will speak with her slides and video clips, and then she will be really happy to answer questions, and I'll hang around up here to help with that. So, and we'll go till about noon. Thank you.
Hey. Hi, everybody. I'm Mia Barela. I'm going to be a senior at Taos High School, and I have been part of True Kids 1 for 3 years now. So at True Kids 1, we do a lot of different things, and we have a lot of different types of media and different parts of film and things like that. So the part of True Kids 1 that I mostly work with is this part called the True Kids 1 Youth Council. So the True Kids 1 Youth Council is a group of high school students who meet regularly, typically about once a week, and we talk about current events going on in town, possible projects we could work on. We have our future dialogues at the TCA, and those are all produced by the Youth Council. The Youth Council also just kind of talks together about things that are on their mind to see even like events happening around town. We talk about things like that to see if we want to maybe go and interview anybody or get any film or photos from those events. And so that's the part of True Kids 1 that I'm most involved in. We also do things such as photography and the 3D print lab. So we recently got a 3D printer. And so, you know, I'm not too familiar how to use the 3D printer, but from what I've seen, it's really awesome. Students are learning how to make smaller things like keychains or posters just to get familiar with it. And then the photography lab, students are encouraged to go and take photos of, you know, wildlife, sports, portraits, events in town, things like that. And so a lot of the students, they're from all different schools in Taos. There's some from Taos Academy, Vista Grande, Taos High School, and we also have some students who come into True Kids 1 from Cuesta or Penasco. So True Kids 1 has like this really great environment where you just want to meet people who think similarly to you and have similar ideas and make new friends, and it provides so many great opportunities. To circle back to the Youth Council also has interviewed various political members. So it provides like students with great opportunities like that. Like for me, one of the very first projects that I worked on was going to an event where I was able to interview several different politicians, including the governor. And that was when I was only 15. So that's a really great opportunity that I wouldn't have had if I wasn't involved in True Kids 1. True Kids 1 also teaches filmmaking and editing. Students there are encouraged to produce like documentaries type of films. We don't really do like fiction type of stuff, like short films like that. It's mainly focused on like documentaries and capturing like what is here in Taos. And so we have done like the bigger projects like the future dialogues, and we've also done like smaller ones in film too. So some of the smaller ones are, for a while this last year at school, we were doing news broadcasts for the high school to keep the students there informed on things going on in town and other things even happening at the school, because sometimes I don't always know what's going on at my own school. So it's kind of nice to do little things like that, and it's really fun too. We have a great staff there at True Kids 1. So when you are working on a film or something, if you need help understanding how to use the cameras or a tripod or any of the filming equipment, you have loads of help. And the other students there are there to help too. Same with the editing. I have recently started doing some editing, and it looks really overwhelming because they give you this like super nice computer, and it's like the super nice like software and all of that, but with all of the help, it's really not that confusing. And it's really fun too. And so True Kids 1 helps a lot with that. One of the other main projects that I've been working on is one called Kids, Screens, and Phones. And this program is where I have gone into classrooms with other True Kids staff and other students. And we go into classrooms of like 3rd to 8th graders. And we talk to them about their phones and the responsibility and the dangers that come with that. Because as we know, technology has like moved up a lot in these recent years, and these little kids are getting phones so much sooner, and there are a lot of dangers on their phones, but there's also a lot of great things that can come from the phones. So when we go into these classrooms, we talk to the kids about having like a good balanced relationship with their phones, knowing that they're in charge. They can use their phones for this or for that. It's up to them. They have that type of agency over their phones, and just knowing that that they're responsible enough now to have a phone, so they need to know how to use that responsibility. And when I've gone into these classrooms, I've heard like these kids ask questions about even scams or stranger contact. And it's really alarming to hear all of this coming from these like little kids. But that's why this program is so great, because for many of these kids, nobody has talked to them about the dangers of online scams or how you shouldn't respond to a stranger if they call. Nobody has talked to these kids about that. So by going into these classrooms, it gives them an opportunity to ask the questions that they want to ask and get answers that they need and just to learn. And currently with this program, we're working on coming up with a curriculum of 4 different units. And in each unit, there are different lessons. And we're going to also do these like mindful practices. That way they can help themselves in cases where they feel overwhelmed by their phones. And also because like the screens on the phones, it can have like really negative effects like on your eyes and everything. And then these kids, they don't realize those effects. So they're on their phones, just staring at them. And so we teach them like practices to where they can like after 20 minutes of being on your phone, stare 20 feet away for 20 seconds. And that helps reset your eyes. Like small things like that just to help the kids out. And so that's one of the other main programs that I've been working with as part of True Kids 1. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything else. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be great if you could change the slide. Oh, yes. The after-school program. So at True Kids 1, we have a couple different after-school programs. And it's really great now because we just got a new building that's right across from the high school. So students from the high school, they can go to True Kids 1 and they can learn photography. They can learn film. They could even learn music. We got a studio in the new building, and we have like a bunch of keyboards and guitars. Students who are interested in learning how to produce music can go there and learn how to do that, which is a really great thing because a lot of my peers, my friends, they talk about how, there isn't anything to do in Taos. But True Kids 1 provides them with all of this to do even after school. And it's just a walk away. And at True Kids 1, even after school, you walk in and there's right away a table with all kinds of snacks for you. And it's not just like a bag of chips, like a candy bar, like what I would typically have after school. It's more like there's carrots and cucumbers. They put strawberries out and like they have like sparkling waters and stuff. So it's snacks, but it's still like the healthier snacks too. And the snacks, they're mindful that like other people might have like different allergies. So we keep a lot of gluten-free snacks at our building as well. And so, we have the youth council, the photo print shop, the music, and we also do computer coding and programming. So we have one staff member who's really familiar in that type of stuff, and he teaches these kids how to even build computers. And also, I know that a while back there was one student who people would bring him computers that were broken or had little errors, and he would fix them. And like, this is a student who was like 16 fixing all kinds of computers, and that was pretty awesome. And if we could change the slide. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the kid screens and phones. Oh, and could you hit the little link there? Let's see. Oh, if not, it's okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I put a little video about the kid screens and phones here. If not, it's okay. Yeah.
What about the computer day is found up on the computer itself? Here it comes.
Anyways, this video is basically just like other True Kids One students talking about how they have felt impacted by the phones and why they think that this program is necessary. And like, I don't know, as part of the Kid Screens and Phones, even going into these classrooms, the kids are like so drawn into the conversation. Like, everybody is just paying attention. All of the kids, like nobody is distracted by their friends or by anything. Like they're not fidgety. And then when it comes time for questions, everybody has a question in there. And it's really remarkable to see the kids like pay that close attention to something, because these kids, like third graders, are talking about how much time they spend on their phones. But they need to understand that they need to have a balanced relationship where, yes, your phone can help you with certain things such as learning a new recipe or finding a good book online or finding directions to a new place that you've never been. Your phone can do great things like that. But when you're on your phone doing things such as being on social media so much, it's a little unbalanced when it's in excess. So the main message of the Kid Screens and Phones is just teaching the kids how to have that balanced relationship and how to make sure that they keep themselves in like a good place with themselves while being on their phones. The next slide, please. Oh, right now we also do summer camps in the summer. So every summer we do different types of camps. We do, I think this summer we're having 5 camps. So I helped out in the first 3 camps. And the first one was the photography and photo printing, as well as the 3D printer. So these students from ages 10 to 14, they could come in for a week and learn how to use the cameras, how to make 3D prints, how to do all of this stuff. And like we said, we also provided the snacks for them. So there was that. The second camp was action photography camp. So we walked the kids from our building right by Albertsons to Fred Baca Park. Or even we walked them to Kit Carson Park a couple days, where they would walk and they would bring their cameras and they would take pictures of bugs flying or crawling. And then we would take like basketballs so they could get photos of their friends playing basketball and doing things like that. And they're learning like all of these like technical terms with the cameras too, which is just incredible because I've been there for 3 years and I still have a hard time knowing what some of that is. But these little kids, they're learning all of this and they're having so much fun. Our last camp that I helped out with, our third one, it was an animation camp. So the kids, they were learning how to make like the stop motion animations, kind of like they do like movies, like like some of the older cartoons, like they would just be drawings that you would do each different picture. And so the kids were doing that, and some of the things that they came out with were like incredible. Like you couldn't even tell that it was just a bunch of pictures put together. It looked like it was just one long video that they did. It was incredible. Yeah. And so even for me, I'm helping out at the camps, but I'm also learning even as just a camp helper. So that's another great opportunity. We have done also a film festival where the students, they get to make their own little like fictional short stories where they're the actors and they come up with the script and they're the directors, they do the editing, and then those are shown at the TCA. That was this last week of camp that happened. And then our upcoming camp, I think, will be one with the computers and the coding and things like that. And so, I mean, these kids, like, I wish I would have had a camp like this when I was younger, because this would have been so fun, like learning how to do all of this stuff. And hopefully, when these kids are in high school, they'll want to join into our other programs like the photo lab or even the youth council, just by being involved in these fun little summer camps. And yeah, the kids really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I learn. And like I said before, like True Kids 1 provides me with so many opportunities that I wouldn't have had if I wasn't involved in True Kids 1. And I've made a lot of great friends there too. And these are friends who have really great common interests as I have, like with making film and interviewing people. And that's, you know, True Kids 1, they see what your skills are and they find a spot for you. Like for me, I'm not too tech savvy with like the cameras and stuff, but it's really easy and natural for me to just talk to people. So it's easier for me to be in front of the camera interviewing someone compared to someone who might be better suited for being behind the camera or for editing. And it's really great too, because it just, like, you find a spot for everyone there, and I feel like everybody fits in there, and it's great. Everybody is so different. There's like so many different people there. Every time I go in, there's like new people, and it's great because you get to just like, you know, like broaden your experiences and do new things. And so, yeah. On the next slide. Yeah, questions. Does anybody have any questions? So the youth council, during the school year, we would meet every Monday after school, and we would talk about like if there were any events or even any like upcoming elections, like for mayor or anything in town. And I know that some of the students on the youth council during like elections in town, even like our local elections, they would interview the candidates to get a better idea. And those videos are posted on YouTube. The youth council does that. The youth council does a lot with politics. So, like I said, I've interviewed the governor, I've interviewed the mayor, and I've interviewed several different senators. Most recently, I interviewed Senator Heinrich. And so I did that. And so that's one of the main focuses of the youth council, as well as our future dialogues, where we talk a little bit about, we pick a topic. So our most recent one was future of our communities. My topic was art in the community. So I went and I interviewed a bunch of different artists to see what their thoughts were on how art might change in 15 years. That's a big thing that the youth council would do. So yeah, the youth council does things like that.
How many are on the council?
Quite a few just graduated this last May. So there's, I think, about maybe 10 of us now. I think before there were around maybe like 15 or 16. Yeah. You're welcome. Yes?
Yeah, did you already say who, under whose auspices the youth council is? Is it the county, or is it the high school, or what?
So the youth council is just like True Kids 1. So it's like all students who work at True Kids 1 and like go to that building. The youth council is just there, but one member on the youth council does go to the town council. for those meetings, so that there is youth voice on the town council as well. But the True Kids One Youth Council is mainly just with True Kids One. Yeah, it does a lot of stuff with the high school and like talks about the high school a lot, just because the majority of us go to Taos High. But yeah.
And I was going to say when I introduced you that Sandy Campbell has just been interviewed by the Taos News, and it's available online. He's the director.
Oh.
And I think you have 4 staff now.
Yeah.
And so the auspices is the nonprofit. And then through the nonprofit connects with all these other community people and programs.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, more questions?
Oh yeah.
I was wondering on the summer camp, how much do they charge? Do they charge business or somebody that always donate towards this?
Yeah, True Kids One is always open to taking donations. And I think that for the summer camps, I don't think it's a lot. I know it's on their website, the price for the summer camps, but a lot of the students who were even doing the summer camps, they weren't just doing the 1 week summer camp. They would do the several different summer camps. So I don't think that it's that much. I think probably like $10 a student for a whole week. Yeah.
That's a deal.
Yes.
What you offer in the way of education and training is very, very appealing. And it's appealing for all ages, I would submit. And would True Kids One ever welcome people that weren't teenagers?
Yes, I think most definitely. You would just have to stop by and see if anyone would be there. Like if you wanted to learn how to do photography or any other services, True Kids One definitely I think would be open to helping. True Kids One, I forgot to mention, also does these dialogues regarding kid screens and phones where the whole public is like involved. We did one at the library where parents, grandparents, students, even just other people of the community were invited. So, and we just talked about what the program was and how we think it's important. But that's just one thing that does include like all ages. And for our staff, they're great and they're so helpful. So they would definitely be open to helping people who weren't teenagers. Yeah.
I was
Yes.
going to ask about the repairs. I mean,
Yeah.
all of us, oldies, often need repairs with our equipment.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's something that your 16-year-old friend.
Yeah, I think if you guys, if you had a computer and if it broke down or even if you were having some difficulties with your phone, True Kids One, if you took it over, we could definitely check it out and see if we could help in any way.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes?
Yeah, I'm involved with the other end of your life spectrum. And there's a program in Taos called Taos Elders and Neighbors Together, and I was involved in getting that going. And I know that a lot of the older people really yearn for younger people input, it's some kind of generational program. Now, we don't have a lot of volunteers that can, that have a lot of time. But I was just wondering if there's any way that we can work together to make that intergenerational class, that whole thing, more visible. Because I think we need you. And there's one of my older friends used to say, we have so much information, we have so much wisdom, and if only the kids would come.
Yeah.
Listen to us.
Yes.
So, maybe there's some way that we can get together and see if there's a common goal or a common something.
Yeah.
I mean, the computer help is enormous, because we have, I myself got a new telephone. and who the hell knows what it's about?
Yeah.
I can make a phone call, but, and I can do it. But, there's so much.
Yeah.
And it's overwhelming, especially for those of us who are past the learning stage.
Yeah, I think definitely, like, if you wanted to come to our building and talk to Sandy, he's the one who's in charge. He's the executive director. So if you talk to him, and yeah, he would definitely be open to like having like a collaboration with you. And I know some students who would love to like join in on that. We're working on a new project called Stories of Our Elders. And so, yeah, we're like going around and we're gonna interview what we call knowledge bearers. So we're gonna interview people like that. So that would even be a great collaboration there too. Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Hi, first off, great presentation.
Well, thank you.
I'm familiar with your program. I did some projects before COVID with Kids One. And in conjunction with a couple of these last comments, are you familiar with a program called Teen Years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was thinking of that. So for people who have not heard of it, it's out of Albuquerque, which is like a million miles away. And it is young kids that are available to help seniors, teens helping seniors. And I'm on their distribution list or email list. Maybe they've had one or two things in house that noticed them. And I was thinking of either whether True Kids One, these just suggestions to pass along, whether True Kids One would want to become affiliated with seniors or would want to use them as a model to set up something similar in their house. But I didn't see there's definitely demand for it.
Yeah. Yes, we actually, not too long ago, maybe like 2 or 3 months ago, I was on a Zoom meeting with Trish, who's in charge of Teen Years, and we were talking about what their program is and if we could like collaborate with True Kids One. So it was kind of an idea. So I'll definitely pass that message along and see if there could be any collaboration, or even if, how you said, if we could like model something kind of after Teen Years. Any other questions? Oh yeah.
I don't have any questions, but I just have to say I'm very inspired that the young kids are getting mentoring to their older peers, your age.
Yeah.
And how important, and I see that as extremely valuable, to put some level of practicality at the consumption that kids do, and without having the voice of a mentor that's pretty close to their own age. I think it's much harder to consider pulling yourself away from that. So you can interject some rationality around that issue. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great because like when we go to talk to students about the kid screens and phones, they're not that much younger than me. Like if I'm talking to an 8th grader, they're really only 3 or 4 years younger than me. And so I'm talking to them, but it seems like because there's that closeness in the age, but I'm still old enough to where, we joke around at True Kids One that they think I'm like super cool and all of that. Because I go into the classrooms and I talk to them and they seem to like really listen and like pay attention. And even at the summer camps, it's like one of our staff members could tell them something and they'll kind of listen. But it's funny because if one of our, like other students, someone who's like my age or a little older, tells them something, then they'll be sure to like listen. It's really interesting how that like whole age dynamic works with them. But yeah. Yeah. Oh yes.
Speaking of the kids' screens and phones, I'm familiar with a lot of what you do, but this was new to me. This is more philosophical. I'm just wondering what your thoughts are about why you think the parents aren't addressing these things.
We have talked a little bit about that, and we kind of have talked that sometimes maybe the parents don't even know what's going on. You have this little device as a kid, and if something happens where it feels or seems sketchy, you might be a little hesitant to even tell your parents if a stranger contacts you or something. So the parents might not be aware. And it could also just be, it's one of those awkward conversations that maybe the parents don't think, well, it's not my kid. My kid wouldn't do it. But, sometimes your kid is doing it. There's also the case where a lot of the kids that we've talked to at schools, many of them also live with their grandparents. So when you're living with a grandparent and not a parent even, there's still that authority, but your grandparents might have a more difficult time on their phone than a parent might. So there's issues such as that we kind of take into consideration when talking to the kids. So we keep that in mind that, some of them might have had these conversations, but most of them haven't because of various different reasons, like the ones I just said. Yes?
This may be too early for you to know the answer, but do you feel like you have a future in broadcasting? Is that something you would want to do?
I did think about it for a little while, a little bit, but I think what I've really enjoyed most at True Kids One is coming up with producing a film, and things like that. So I would in the future maybe like to do something in film. I definitely think that would be interesting. And I'm about to be a senior, so I have to start really thinking about it, but not yet. No, not today. Maybe tomorrow. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you.
What you're doing, I think is so wonderful for Taos, for us older people, in terms of thinking about what it's going to bring. You just lift my spirit.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yes, you? I think just one more, yeah.
Oh, good. You will be pleased to know that our congregation has taken on True Kids One as one of our nonprofits that we donate to.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, yes.
So Mia, I hope you have more opportunity to speak to the public because written articles just do not do the justice that your presentation has done. And the other thing, kind of piggybacking on Mary Ann's, is it's so encouraging to hear what the youth in this community are doing. We hear so many negative things. We have this sometimes ideas that they're going astray here and here, and there's this group in the Taos area that are just doing amazing things, and especially working with those younger kids, those third graders, and that you're making such a positive impact on them. And I hope you have opportunity to broadcast this more and more to more people, because as Mary Ann said, it just lifted my spirits and made me very thankful for people like you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I definitely hope we have more opportunities to talk to people about all that we do. Yeah. Oh, yeah, another question?
There's a little organization I don't know much about, but it's Good News Good Planet. And I just wish that they would do a piece on you because they broadcast on the radio, they're on, internet. So I think that's so important. And I think what we really need is to have more sessions where we can just brainstorm. I mean, even though we're from the last century. I just think that there's, skills and ideas and mentoring that even those of us who can not walk can still talk about it.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Oh, yes, another question?
Do you have any products of video that you could show us? Maybe if not today, in some future occasion.
Definitely. We have, actually on our YouTube, if you wanted to, like on a computer or phone, go to YouTube and type in True Kids One. Our YouTube page would come up where you can see our future dialogues that the Youth Council has produced. There are some interviews with the politicians on there. There's some stuff about the kids screens of phones, the news broadcasting, and we do a bunch of other stuff that's on the YouTube channel as well that you can check out. Or if we have another event like this, we can work on getting that set up. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to you and to the group, I've attended several of these future dialogues at the TCA, and it is very impressive the way the person who's done the film, or Sandy, or one of your team, stands up and asks questions to the two kids who've made that video, and they answer to a group of 150, 200 people who are sitting out in PCA and talk about it. And then to see the whole youth council brought up on stage just, brings, talk about uplift.
So when does that happen?
Well, you see them in the paper when
Okay.
they're doing it, and we can find out from Mia what the future dialogues are going to, the content's going to be. And then it's advertised in Tempo and the paper, and probably radio and other. But,
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, we just concluded our future dialogues. We've done 4, so I don't think that we'll have any more. But we'll be sure to most likely have other events at the TCA and such. Yeah.
keep in touch with us.
Yeah.
You can publicize those events, okay?
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Thank you.
Well, Mia, this is just wonderful that we could have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much, and please take time to meet people and talk, and maybe we're invited to come and peek into the new headquarters sometime.
Yeah. Definitely. We can talk to Sandy and see about having you guys over.
A
And
little
Yeah.
tour or something.
Yeah.
Great. Good, thank you so
thank
much.
you.